Hi guys, my name is Brandon Lewis and I'm from Queens, New York, and I'm a senior at Boston University. On campus, I'm a reporter for BU TV 10, which is the school's student-run television station, and I also report for the BU News Service, which is a student-run news website. I like to cover pressing issues here in Boston and across the country because those are the real stories. Those are the stories that impact people. I believe student journalists tend to stay on campus and in that college bubble and cover what's going on at school, interviewing the star athlete of the basketball team or talking to that popular professor who's making a difference on campus. And those are perfect, fine stories. Those are dandy if you want to cover profiles all your life. But when we graduate from school, we're expected to cover real stories, what people care about, what's important to them. And that's why I'm so grateful to have studied journalism in Boston because I got the chance and still do get the chance as a senior today to leave campus and find real stories. I've got the chance to cover climate change here in Massachusetts, rising sea levels. A lot of people live on the coast, Cape Cod, Nantucket. Rising sea levels is important to them. Homelessness here in Boston is slowly rising, so that's an issue that I've covered and people care about. The minimum wage, people want a higher minimum wage, especially fast food workers. That's something people care about. And I believe staying on a college campus, there's only so much you can cover. But once I got off campus, there are plenty of stories that found myself running into, and those are the stories that people want to talk about and want to hear. So I'm grateful to have studied journalism in Boston. And also, the other reason why I love to cover pressing issues is because I get the chance to cover, I get the chance to ask the tough questions, the questions that your audience wants to know. Our audience isn't there to ask the questions, but they want you to ask them and they want to hear those answers. Journalists aren't there to be best friends with the person we're interviewing. I mean, obviously, it's nice to be cordial and nice, but you're there to get to the truth. We're there to ask Michigan Governor Rick Snyder what took his administration so long to address the water crisis in Flint. We're there to ask Donald Trump what's going on with all this violence at his rallies when he's supposed to be uniting the country that he says is so divided right now. We're supposed to ask Maria Sharapova why didn't she open up that email about the banned substances list? Why didn't she do that? We're there to get to the truth, and asking easy questions won't get you there. And covering fluffy stories doesn't really allow you to do that. Covering the real issues like the Zika virus or opioid use, that's when you get the chance to ask the tough questions because you're trying to get to the truth. And it's important to do that. And I believe when you do cover those issues, there's nothing else that should be expected of you as a journalist. You need to ask those tough questions because that's what people want to hear. And I love to do that. I love to do that as a storyteller, as a journalist, and I hope that I can do that as Newsroom U. It sounds like an amazing opportunity. So thank you so much for considering my application, and thank you for listening.